Exactly. Oh, yeah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the NecroCast, folks. Digging up more shit than your ex-wife.
That's right.
Yep, more old shit.
I'm Steve.
My name's Felicia.
My swanky counterpart.
Finkel and Ihorn.
Finkel is... Let's see, we probably should have...
Well, that was fun, folks.
And that's the end of that.
That's a wrap. That was a...
So, I guess we can go into some movies, huh? How do you feel about that? You want to start off on a movie category?
No.
No. Says no. So, obviously, this first is going to be a lot of getting situated and seeing what works best for everything.
Yep, it's going to be rough like my balls after a razor from Dollar Shave Club.
Yeah.
Don't use
single
those.
blades.
Yeah. Manscaped. Maybe we can get sponsored by Manscaped. The new Manscaper 2.0.
It'll make your marbles smooth.
Super smooth.
All right. You know, I tried to watch that new Dragon's Daima.
What the fuck is that? The new Dragon Ball Z?
The new one that came out. It was it's tough because they didn't have any of the English dubbed stuff yet, which I don't mind reading. But when you're with
nobody wants to fucking read.
You're with your lady. She asks you every 5 seconds what's going on. It's kind of gets rough, you know.
I tried to get into the Terminator Zero, the Japanese anime thing.
Yeah.
I think we made it like 3 or 4 episodes. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't grasp.
I agree. I tried it myself. I think I made it to, like you're saying, 2 or 3, but it just didn't draw me in.
No, there was homages to Judgment Day with the motorcycle cop and the T-1000 and all that, but they made the Terminator in that series like so fucking crazy looking all the time.
Yeah, I didn't like. I just didn't think it played well together. I think from maybe if we were new to it, never had watched anything on Terminator, maybe it would be good. But I think the artistic aspect of it was kind of far fetched for what I would want.
Yeah, I don't know. If I just dove into Terminator Zero, then like I would just assume the rest of the franchise sucked.
Yeah.
At ergo point.
Well, it was very, very Japanese set too. Everything looked like it was like if it were to happen in Japan instead of in America.
Yeah, the point that we made it up to was with the dude and his family living in the big skyscraper, and he's got his kids and whatnot, and that swung like directly towards T2.
T2, yeah.
Yeah, because you had Malcolm and his wife, and they came in there and fucked the house up.
It's kind of like a re-envision.
You destroyed the future, now I'm going to destroy your house. Nice couch, motherfucker.
Fuck your couch. No, yeah, I did agree with that. It was a tough one to get into.
Yeah, not as tough as the ending to Alien Romulus.
So, I haven't seen it
you
yet.
You didn't go there.
No, I didn't get to see it yet.
We'll wait until you watch it. I'll rewatch it again, and we'll talk about it the next time.
After you told me I was going to wait until it came out to see it, I didn't see something that I wanted to see in theaters.
Yeah.
It didn't give me that, like, I had to see it.
It was like, what did we watch the other night? Me and Ashley watched a Stephen King movie. I think it was Dr. Sleep, the redo of, like, The Shining and whatnot.
Oh, really? I see. I heard about it. I haven't got to watch it yet.
It was really good. We went and saw it in a theater when that initially came out, and I had a couple drinks, and theater stuff, especially when it's like a 3.5 hour film, which, if I'm not mistaken, that was just under 3 hours, but it was a lot to sit through. But
that's what she said.
It was like I was talking about how like everybody keeps doing Stephen King reboots, and it's like impossible to fuck up. Well, to an extent, like I watched Salem's Lot. Mm-hmm. That was cool. I dug it. It felt rushed because the original was like 4 hours. The new one was just over 2. So you were like, You gotta remember this attention span of the audience these days doesn't have but it's a fucking King film. Like It 1 and 2, that was split between 2 films.
The VHSs. It was great.
I remember on that VHS subject watching it as they were kids. And I had to wait until I was in I guess later on, I
A
didn't
young
realize
adult.
there was the part 2 to
Right,
it. Like
right.
fucking Forrest Gump.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No, I was retarded and didn't know there was a second part. It wasn't the second part to the movie. It was the second tape of the movie, and I never
Right.
watched it.
You
until
thought it
years
was
later.
like
Yeah.
a separate
Yeah,
thing.
I was like, oh, I thought it was director's commentary from
No.
Star Wars or something.
And you know what? Now that I think about that, I think that's how it was too. And then we were like, well, let's see what it is. And then it opens on that scene where the head's in the refrigerator.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh no, this does
Mhm.
directly correlate with that. So I do, that vividly sticks in my mind, that scene of first putting that tape in. Because they are really graphic in that first initial second tape.
I think when I figured out that there was, rather than like you had Return of the Empire and Strikes Back,
Right.
Or Return of the Jedi and Strikes Back,
Yeah.
the second VHS was like the director stuff and all George
Right.
Lucas behind the scenes stuff. So I wasn't expecting a tape to insert tape 2 now.
I think we should address this too, kids. Back in the day with VHS, you couldn't just cram a bunch of data onto it. It wasn't like your Blu-rays and your...
You could only
your
fit so much
Ultra
film
discs.
in a plastic cassette.
Yeah,
disc.
so they usually put all the extras and everything on a separate tape.
Yeah, you didn't have bonus features on a fucking menu.
Right, you didn't get the end of the scenes after the credits roll.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't get that. So
Well, I think there was a couple movies back in the day that had some
very
stuff.
few and far in between. I feel like
Because, like, didn't you have to wait until the end of the credits on a VHS tape for it to be, like, insert tape 2?
Well, see, now, I don't know. I don't remember because I never made it that far through the credits.
Well, exactly.
I
So
was
you would never
impatient.
know without being prompted
Right.
that there was another hour and a half, 2 hours
Right.
to your film.
I was very impatient.
But coming back to the Stephen King full circle
Yeah.
thing, It 1 and 2 with Skarsgård were great as Pennywise. Salem's Lot,
Amazing.
in my opinion, was pretty good. It wasn't great, it wasn't
Right.
amazing, but it was good for what it was. Dr. Sleep was good. And then we got on the subject of the TV series. Like, The Stand was a fucking...
Oh.
I couldn't even watch it.
No.
It was such a snooze fest. And they did some other Stephen King... Pet Sematary was another
Pet
one.
Cemetery. That one, okay, so hit and miss on some of that.
I never made it through Pet Sematary.
Pet
I couldn't
Sematary
do it.
was not too bad. I've seen the newer movies. Decent. They were okay. Again, it just doesn't hit like the originals. I feel like that's the problem, right? We're always trying to pick up that nostalgic aspect of it, and you can never beat the original.
Now, speaking of rebooting old nostalgic and never beating an original, we got a stack of movies. We're going to talk about Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore. Love this fucking movie, dude. The cast lineup for every
was
Happy
great.
Gilmore film was like top tier.
Well, anything Adam Sandler, you know what to expect. You're gonna get something funny. You're gonna
Well,
get
technically the
great-
same character
Yeah.
every film, just with a different
Yeah.
accent, I guess.
Right, yeah,
but,
he usually does.
dude, it was Adam Sandler. Just like seeing
Yeah.
Rob Schneider and all the rest of Jim Carrey was like essentially the same thing.
There actually talks right now of this part 2 coming to this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's that should be interesting to see.
You think
hopefully.
Chubbs is gonna make it back?
We'll see,
I think
yeah.
he's dead.
Well, we'll see what they do with that. Maybe put the Glover dude in there, right? As
Yeah.
his son or something.
Yeah, that would-
You know what I mean? Who knows how that's gonna play out?
He lost his hand in like a airport escalator accident,
Or something,
like a
baggage
gator.
claim. But yeah, this great film. Adam Sandler when he was young was just amazing, right?
Yeah,
He was always like acted like he was the toughest guy on the block, but
You know, I always wondered about Sandler too. Like, I knew Chris Farley, I'm sure, was like face deep in a big old pile of blow at any
always,
given time. And
always.
food, like you heard about, like restaurant orders with Chris Farley, and he'd be like, "I'll
Right.
take one of everything on the menu and whatever they want." You know, that
Right.
was his thing going
Yeah.
out.
I'm on a diet. leave
But
me
like
alone.
Adam Sandler, I never really seen him as like the drug part. Maybe some pot.
He
you
did.
know?
He talked about it in his albums.
Did
that
he?
did.
Yeah,
Some of
I remember his
albums,
music.
He talked about it. You know, drinking and partying
Yeah,
and stuff. But
yeah.
it was never. He was never a hardcore.
Yeah.
He never gave off that hardcore vibe. I'm sure they did. I mean, come on.
And,
Famous
like,
in the 90s.
All this other scandal too going around that's been going around in Hollywood since the test
Yeah.
of the internet, you know, came around and started bringing you bullshit like
Right.
this. You know, I don't remember much scandal. With
There's not much with him. He was very after his 90s thing and he got married and had kids. He really went family oriented on a lot of his stuff.
What's
and
your
kept
favorite
it-
movie?
Favorite Adam Sandler
Yeah.
movie? Shit. Billy Madison. Probably my favorite one.
Like old pre-2000s Adam Sandler.
Yeah, it'd have to be, I'd say Billy Madison just because he's that goofy ass rich kid that we all wanted to be, right?
Yeah.
We would if we were
Nudie
if we were rich, that's how we would have been. I feel like.
Yeah. Too much sun.
Yeah, exactly.
I
fell asleep by the pool. You sure didn't pass out. Like, it had a little bit of everything, right? You had your ups and downs, your highs, your lows. The cute girl, you know. So.
I like the fucking wedding singer, dude.
Oh,
the wedding singer was like,
Then in that, you know, I feel like that movie really brought out and introduced him as an artist because he was making albums and stuff.
Yeah,
and a lot of people didn't know about his.
It was good stuff. It's like hearing Eddie Murphy play guitar and sing. The dude can play and wail like.
Right. Yeah, I know that. Man, Wedding Singer was a good one.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the release date on the sequel. I know it's coming to Netflix because I'm pretty sure Netflix owns his little butt now.
He's got a deal with them on every movie that he makes, which that's not a bad thing, you know. So
the next one you picked a good one.
Oh yeah,
talk about the first Blade movie,
man.
Back when superhero movies were actually good.
Yeah, well, really the one that started Marvel.
Yeah.
In the franchise,
got that foot in the door. Unfortunately, I don't think that foot got in the door until 20 years later. You know,
yeah, where people really picked it up. Yeah. But this is like the gatekeeper. I feel like that really started it. Wesley Snipes took this role to another level.
Wesley Snipes, Deacon Frost was a great
villain. Deacon Frost was one of the best. I still, to this day, every time I see him in anything, is cigarette commercials and stuff.
Yeah, you know? the fucking the soundtrack, the leather, the teeth, awesome. The sex appeal. When you were 13 watching Blade, you were in your room listening.
It made techno cool.
Yeah,
you know, it made that clubhouse music something to think about.
Yeah,
am I into this? You know, like I'm not going to be seen at them parties, but this is pretty cool.
I have an erection at the weirdest time.
This is weird.
This is weird. Awkward boner.
But yeah, some of the combat scenes in that movie were just
that
next
ending
level.
Fight scene. And he sliced Deacon Frost in half with a sword,
and that CGI wasn't a big thing back then.
Well, it was just becoming a big.
It was really whenever you've seen CGI, it was really gimmicky stuff, and they made it really good. It made it really
Remember the first I don't know if it was the first, but the Dungeons and Dragons from like 2001, it was like terrible CGI, but it was
there was a lot of it back then.
Yeah.
There was a lot of it, and you know, then they try to ramp it back up and redo it, remaster, and make it even worse, like, you know, Star Wars, for instance, when they put all that in there, it just ruined it.
Kicking a dead horse.
Right, come on. Thanks a lot, Walt.
But yeah, Blade, dude. Part 2 was pretty decent. Part 3 kind of went off the rails, but I like the evolution of the vampires in Part 2 with the...
I did. I think it was cool.
A lot of hate with that, but...
But you also, you know, with even doing this and in the new Deadpool Wolverine movie, where him and Ryan Reynolds finally got to partake in it again. You know, they've been in scenes before a lot. Yeah. And he brings it up, kind of breaking the fourth wall, and that, like, he never really liked me.
That whole scene was dope, though, because you got to see her come back as, was it Elektra, and then Blade came through the door, and then fucking Gambit's goofy ass.
Yeah, that was great. Which I think that...
Yeah, it was cool. I dug it.
It was all right.
I think, like, they just needed more staff time in the movie. There wasn't a lot of staff slinging.
I feel like something that would be really cool, and I've seen movies doing it now once they come out, especially on Netflix, is they put them in the series, right? Yeah. So, like, The Hateful Eight, for instance, when they move that into the 4-part series, because the movie is so long, right? It makes it nice when you have a 4-hour movie with so much content that you create and make it hour-long segments to watch as you want.
I did hear that, like, the director's cut or the bonus edition was pretty dry on the content.
For the
there was a couple
Deadpool,
a couple ending things, and
it was. I bought it. I was that guy, suckered into it, and got that. Spent that $30.
Did you get the Steelbook?
I did.
Well, I mean, Steelbook always goes up in price.
Well,
let that be a lesson, kids. Years of collecting them Steelbooks they sell at Walmart, they come up in value a little bit.
It was the gag reel was pretty funny, to be expected with Ryan Reynolds. But him and, you know, Hugh Jackman's banter, because these guys are like best friends. Yeah. It's really it was cool to see that. But otherwise, I could have done without it.
Yeah.
So
didn't they already confirm Deadpool, Wolverine?
That's what they're saying, but I did hear a thing going on is the next time we're going to see Deadpool is in the Doom movie. So I don't know what their plan is for that, because I can't see them making it go too long. I mean, Hugh Jackman's not getting any younger.
I was pretty excited for that Cavill appearance, dude. Cavill looks so weird.
Mm-hmm. And he's talked about it a lot.
Yeah, dude.
A lot.
He's big son of a bitch, but he's too big for Wolverine. Fucking
Who
Hugh
cares?
Jackman's like 6'4".
Here's the thing.
6'3".
There's plenty of alternate universes.
Like uppies, bro. Uppies.
Right? There's plenty of alternate universes. We can make it happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the great thing with them bringing in the
I'm gonna live at least another 15 years. Let me have it.
Right, but they can do an old man Logan movie again, right? They did one, but we can do Planet 103 or whatever we want, right? Yeah. Like Western old Logan, like they showed in when he was trying to search for a Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, let's come full circle back to Blade Part 3, Dracula, and all that. That was.
They did a far push.
I mean, I liked it. Ryan Reynolds, not so much in that, but I mean, it was.
Here's the thing: they've had a lot of Blade Dracula. Obviously, that's where he started, right? Yeah. In the Dracula. Yeah. So I feel like they forced it. It was a forced film. Yes, it's watchable and good, but I feel like the Dracula character was kind of dry.
I'm also a sucker for those B cheese movies, so it's like anything Blade affiliate, like the Spike TV series with the other guy that played Blade. Yeah, it was.
You talking about what was his name? Sticky Thumbs or
something, dude? It was a Spike TV production. The special effects were absolutely horrible.
That was
the script was terrible.
It was.
But I watched it, because I like exposure to superheroes, villains, just in general.
Right.
It's, I really think they fucked up, not dropping a Blade, Morbius, Spider-Man, Moon Knight,
which is still possible, right? Especially now that we've had horrible other movies come out where Morbius kind of looks better. Yeah. So, which it wasn't that bad. I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't think it was that bad. Obviously, it's not great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, oh my God, this trash.
But the Blade Spike TV series, tried to start watching the, I think it's Prime Directives RoboCop. It's the 3-parter that's on Amazon. And it was fucking terrible, dude. Yeah. Like, the suit looked cool, and this and that, but the overall script was...
I think they're pushing these shows out and pocketing a lot of the money and just putting less than B even quality movies out.
Yeah.
Just to get them out there. Right? And stuff that we've been waiting forever for. Right? You hear about it and you're like, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And then they give us...
Then they shit down your fucking neck.
So, yeah, dude. Blade 3, I'm trying to think of some other really... I mean, they had Triple H in that. You remember Triple H?
Yeah, dude.
He had
the fucking silver
things in there. That was cool. Yeah, Still wonder how he used those because it didn't make any sense. Really capped him off, So,
yeah.
But it was good to see him in a movie.
Yeah, it was cool to see Triple H. He's been in some other stuff. Yeah. And then they put Kane in like a couple horror movies, and they all had their whole little thing.
Yeah, WWE, I feel like, has ventured into the movie scene a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good one to see on the silver screen.
Yeah.
Especially for a part 3, because at that time Blade had already been established very well, right? And it kind of, like you were saying, it was gimmicky, but I think you had to kind of go there. Same with like the Batman movies, right? After the first 2, you have to go to that extreme.
Yeah.
So it's hard to keep a show going past a 3rd part.
Agreed. Well, we'll see what happens with Stranger Things on season. What are they on 5?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ! Dude,
I 4 made it in that deep.
4 was great, but it was like there was so much going on with all this dark stuff. You need to get into it because season 5 is supposed to be like the and like all this shit's fucking
right. Where they actually gonna tell you more about what's actually
number 3. One of my all-time sci-fi favorites.
Mine too.
Dude.
This is
fucking.
I remember having this thing on repeat, watching it.
Yeah, I think this was one of the VHS tapes I burned out.
This is one of the ones where your parents let you have it because it's not a gruesome, gory movie.
No,
but it's still,
you got like one scene with boobies.
Yeah, but if you don't watch it with your parents and you're just like, oh, it's a bug movie where they're just like guys fighting stuff. Go ahead and have fun watching it. Little do they know, got a couple of shower scenes in there, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. So, Starship Troopers. Again, one of those CGI films that really pulled it off flawlessly.
Yeah, dude.
There's scenes in there that are just so well done it's impressive that was done in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So I think this is what, like 98, 97? I'm pretty sure it's right around that.
And I mean, granted, the movies, if you're being a dickhead about it, weren't true to the comics by any means.
Right.
But I mean, fuck, the movies were cool on their own. I had seen the movies well before I had even known that there was a comic book realm for it.
Right. Well, and too, with comic book stuff, it's really a niche, right? You're trying to reach to a broader horizon of people. You can't always follow it, and I know a lot of people get upset, but now it's good in this day and age that you can.
Yeah.
And people appreciate
They did what? 3 Starship Troopers live action films. There's an animated one or 2, and they're talking about a video game.
Well, they kind of got one, right? There's a couple. So there is a couple of real-time strategies that are based on this, but not what people want. People want Helldivers.
Yeah, you're not going to get that at Starship Troopers.
But Helldivers, basically, I mean, that's a full ripoff of this.
Yeah.
And they did it great.
I'm okay. Which one was it? I think it was part 3, the most ridiculous one possibly. They were at like an outpost camp and shit, and had like the electric fence going.
Yeah, those are one of those far-fetched movies again that just give you that obnoxious.
And I loved every bit of it too. I loved,
like you're saying, that B borderline C acting. Softcore.
I'm a glutton for that B movie cheese all day. Bring it on. Like the creature features and whatnot. Oh, yeah. And like found footage, Blair Witch, stuff like that.
Yeah, fucking Blair Witch. Oh my god.
But yeah, Starship Troopers, dude. The video game would be cool. Like that Unbox toy video game we were talking about.
Oh yeah. That's a cool one. That looks cool.
Yeah, I know. My ass just haven't upgraded consoles because I'm a fucking dinosaur and I'm still playing on the Xbox One. That's my business though. You subscribe and like and follow, do your part and I'll do my part.
Maybe we can put that in there, right? Yeah. Do that. We'll live stream some stuff in the future. Brittany didn't know there were so many extras of this, of the Starship Troopers. She's like, "There's a 2 and a 3." I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
The animated series, Casper Van Dam still did the voiceover for the original Rico and whatnot, and it was some pretty cool shit.
It was great. It was great. Stupid great. Oh yeah. Well, man, I do love this movie though, for real.
You know what did throw a fucking wrench in my gears the other goddamn day in the movies industry and whatnot? So the Spawn movie.
What's the new
I
one
love
or
it.
the
You
original?
fucking hate it. Well, just the premise of the fucking Spawn movie, all right? Being a kid, I was waiting, and the Jay White fucking Spawn movie, to me, was great.
I loved it.
Don't knock it until you watch the goddamn Blu-ray cut. Watch the Blu-ray 4K. It
killed it.
Dude, so much better. They upped the CGI value factor for the Blu-ray so much more.
I loved it before, but I love those.
It's hard to get new people to watch it because the movie doesn't exactly hold up well. But anyways, so Todd McFarlane was looped in and teamed up with Blumhouse Productions, which is exciting because they do a lot of horror movies and whatnot. So bringing in that good old scary Spawn aspect into it would be pretty dope stuff. But so there was a script and everything was in production, and then I don't know if there's banter between McFarlane and production companies, but it's on halt. We were guaranteed to see something by the end of 2025, and now we're guaranteed absolutely nothing.
And I think that happens a lot with this kind of stuff. You get too many brains, too many hands in the cookie jar, right? And studios
Spawn movie,
studios don't want to do certain things that original.
The HBO series was great because, like, if you read the comic book as a kid, you'd be watching the HBO series and you're like, I fucking read this episode already, and you realize that the HBO series went neck and neck with each issue.
Well, that's because you had Tom McFarlane literally there, almost every scene, the beginning opener, right? Out there telling you what's going on. He's not going to fuck it up.
No,
that's one guy that won't fuck it up if he's fully in charge. Which I feel like on that HBO series he was. Yeah. So.
But he had signed on to do like new G.I. Joe toys and all this other stuff, and then fucking Hasbro decided to give the rights over to the Play School or some shit. Yeah, it's like, dude, imagine what McFarlane would do for Power Rangers, bro.
Oh man, I mean, everything he touches is going crazy. I mean, he's in everything right now.
Obviously,
he's doing everything. What was one I just seen? I mean, he's doing even nodding action,
anime and all
and
that stuff.
He's doing like everything now.
He had his hands in like Trigun and Vash and stuff like that back in the early 2000s and the 90s, but like, hell, you remember the M&M action figures that were at Spencer's Gifts? Alice Cooper is going to be swinging through Mobile in February. We should go to that.
That would be cool. I'm down for that. I can do February.
And that's Mobile. That's like an hour and a half away.
That's a drive out there.
An hour and a half away from our undisclosed location.
But yeah, that would be cool. I mean, who wouldn't want to see him, huh?
Yeah.
Freaking, we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
We're not worthy.
So, that would be cool. Obviously, we had bought tickets to see Falling in Reverse, and then they canceled the show.
Oh, fuck. Was that the thing with the laptop?
I don't know what exactly happened with that whole thing, but he canceled quite a few shows. So, I know he said that he was going to make it up. We got refunded our money.
Dude, Ronnie was the man. I didn't even know about. I'm sure like it had tethered through my realms at one point in time, but I was just stuck up fucking punk,
right?
And didn't give a shit about music like that. But you turned me on to Falling in Reverse, and I was like,
"Yeah,
the fuck is this shit?" But I was into Slaughter to Prevail, which is more my realm, fucking, And you were like, yeah, he did a new fucking collab with Tech Nine, and I'm like, okay, I'm not a rap guy, but I know and respect Tech Nine. Goddamn it,
great. They did great in that.
That fucking track, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, man, Ronnie's been along for a long time.
Even his gummy stuff from like the emo, I like it. I listen to it. Bad Girls Club all the way.
Dude, that's my freaking soul. I dig it, man. I'm about it because it I don't know. It speaks to me in volumes. So.
It's like, as a musician too, it's like if I became like, rich let me not say rich, but if I had more reach to the things that I could get and go out on tour like that as a musician, I would definitely broaden my horizons in the scene.
Well, it's crazy with him too. That all his stuff was 7 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's become so popular.
Yeah, he became
7 years is a huge gap in the music industry without ever making anything, and then people start realizing how good you really were.
I love the dude, though. I am definitely a fan of that.
Yeah.
I was grateful for that. I was like, who the fuck Falling in Reverse, and started listening to it. I'm like, I heard the lighter stuff and then fucking some of the heavier.
Yeah,
but that's cool. Gimmicky. He has a little bit of everything.
He's a gimmicky dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very controversial for sure.
Cool stuff, though.
I like him a lot. I'm a big Rodney Singer fan. Like, I love Rodney James.
Yeah.
From Dio, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, just amazing. But yeah, dude, he was cool. He's a good guy. I would love to see him. I paid for the meet and greet, and I'm pretty upset because I really wanted to meet him and fangirl, Yeah. I would have totally fangirled him.
Yeah, I remember the first time I met Zach Wild for a meet and greet, and I just I locked up. I was like 19, 18, something
super
like that.
Starstruck.
And number one, he's fucking huge.
Oh, he looks freaking huge. Fucking goddamn Viking, dude, man.
You're fucking understand a goddamn thing and walk up to you like, hey, bro, how you doing? And you're like, God damn, you a big motherfucker. Up exactly. One guy I never got to meet, though, from that realm was Dime, though. Never even got to see him live. I got my fucking CFH stamp, my shit all over.
So would that be the person, if you could do your lunch with somebody or dinner with somebody or have a drink with one of the celebrities from the past? Is that who it would be for you? Or
fuck.
What do you think? Well, who is your dead celebrity crush?
Crush?
Like, who would you want to meet? If you had any choice to bring one person back for one last show or just even a hangout session with
honestly, just to hang out, probably Dime, dude. Because Dime was like one of the coolest fucking down-to-earth guy. And I think about, my lifestyle, how I grew up, his life. He was a southern dude of Texas. I'm a southern dude of Florida. I guess you can consider that southern. But it's like
that's a weird thing, right? South people
don't
recognize Florida.
You're redneck. You're from Florida.
It's weird, It's like we're from the South. It's like, well, Florida's kind of further south than anywhere.
It is true because where I grew up was more of the ghetto, perhaps, and then moving to the Panhandle and living in between the two. Florida's a goddamn melting pot. I love Florida, and I've moved out of Florida and done other places, and it's fucking terrible.
You can always find somebody from somewhere else here in Florida. Mm-hmm. It is. It is a cornucopia since we're on Thanksgiving time of people that you can find.
Florida's pretty dope, dude.
It is, except for the drivers. You guys suck. Okay, so.
They're not that bad.
No, you're really bad. you're bad.
Good tires, good brakes, good suspension.
Hey, I want to say this. If it's raining out, it's not a freaking storm, okay? Just drive. All right, bud? You're not going to fly off the road.
I remember moving somewhere out of Florida where it snowed. And everyone's like, oh, you're from Florida. You got to be careful of the snow and shit. And it had me all paranoid of the snow. And I drove in the fucking snow. And I was like, this is fantastic. It's like, y'all don't drive through hurricanes and shit. Like, we're driving through like Cat 4s, Cat 3s, fucking death metal on fucking full blast on the radio. Can't see shit out of the fucking windshield doing fucking 95 down 90. You know what I mean? Just another day, brother. It'll be over in 10 minutes.
As a kid that, I'm from Florida originally, moved to the Midwest and grew up. There's nothing better than driving in a snowstorm, though.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in a Star Wars
movie. Put the high beams on.
And we're going in the light speed. Boom! You fly on it.